Whitby, in April 2021, we had 410 new listings come on the market. We had 310 sales, and we had 133 active listings, which essentially are what did not sell, and they carry over into the next month. They carried over into May 21. March 22, we had 481 new listings come to market, 251 sales through the month, and 179 active listings, which carried over into April. April, we had 465 new listings come to market, so not actually that much of a decline. We did see a slight decline in the number of sales, but we did see also an upswing correspondingly in the active listing inventory. Now, I've been saying this in other videos, Durham region is actually been stronger in the last few months than, well, probably through the whole pandemic, than what York region has. And the same would be true for Simcoe, for like Barrie, Innisfil. There's definitely that you can see in the numbers where there's been that exodus from the city. There's been that migration out of the core to make its way out. And it's showing in the numbers because the numbers are still actually showing fairly strong. If we're looking at the money, $963,000 was the average sale price across all home types in Whitby a year ago. $1,273,000 in March, currently trending at $1,160,000. So I would not take this reduction of $113,000 directly to your house. You have to remember it's an average sale price. So, you know, in some months you're going to have more multi-million dollars homes selling, more farms. Other months you're going to have more condos, semis, and towns selling, which so it's going to pull this number around a little bit. So again, it really depends on what's selling. So yes, we have definitely seen a reduction in the average sale price across the GTA. You know, and in terms of this, in some towns we're seeing more than this, you know, difference of 100,000. Other ones we're seeing less. So again, it really is going to depend on what is selling that month as well. The SNLR stands for sales to new listings ratio. Also known as the absorption rate. That's what us realtors like to call it. And it tells us out of the homes that are coming on the market every month, what's the percentage that are selling. So a year ago, 75.6% of the homes that came on the market in April 21 sold. March 22, we had 52.2% of the homes sold that came on the market, and 46.5% of the homes that came on the market sold in April 22. Now, this is how we determine whether it's a buyer's market or whether it's a seller's market. So anything under 50% would be indicative of a buyer's market. It tells us that there is more supply than there is demand. Now, when you get between 50 and 60%, that would indicate that it's a balanced market. So there's enough supply to meet the demand. And now when you're looking over 60%, like we were a year ago, that tells us that there is more demand than there is supply. And the market has definitely corrected, so we are now sitting in a buyer's market. Months of inventory remaining tells us if no other homes came on the market after today at the current rate of buying or current rate of consumption, as realtors like to say, how long would it take to deplete the inventory? Now, we calculate this by looking at the active inventory divided by the sales through the month. So 0.4 a year ago, 0.7 months of inventory in March, currently trending at 1.1. So this is what we're seeing across the GTA. Inventory levels have started to climb. Again, you can see it through here. We had less sales. And again, you're dividing this into the active listings. And it's just, you can just see it in the numbers, right? It's just different. And so we're seeing it climb here. Now, typically what we do see most times is we see absorption rate and months of inventory go opposing to each other. So as from here to here, you know, from March to April, we see the months of inventory go up, and then we're correspondingly seeing the sales to new listings ratio go down. So we are definitely seeing the market soften up a little bit. Good for you buyers. Sellers, you want to make sure that your game is tight. You want to make sure that you are working with an agent, if not me, that has your home case or your house showcased in its highest light possible. You want to make sure that your home, your online game is super, super, super tight, and pricing is dialed in. There's no room to play in this market. So if we're looking at sale price to list price ratio, home selling at 112.1% a year ago, 123 in March 22, currently trending at 113.9. Now, I've said it in other videos, you know I got a real issue with sale price to list price ratio. It is grossly overstated. And as the market is sort of, you know, the market hasn't really chosen a direction yet. It's sort of waffling around, you know, it's day by day, it's week by week. We definitely are seeing a bit of what I would call deterioration in terms of, price, but also the amount of sales out there. There is a scrambling right now through sellers agents to underprice the homes, really underprice the homes to get the most amount of eyes on them. And of course, we're all human. If you see a house that sold for $1 million on, Main Street in your town, and you saw the exact same model of house listed for $699, in the back of your mind, you might think, okay, it's going to sell for $1 million, but you're still going to look at the 699 because you're going to want to see maybe there's a chance, and that's what that strategy really does at the end of the day. And so we're seeing this sale price to list price ratio just become grossly overstated. It's been like that for a year, over a year. So please do not base your decision on whether you're buying or selling by sale price to list price ratio. And if you have any questions on any of these stats, if I can explain them further and drill down, I know sometimes I talk quick and it's like drinking from a fire hose. But if you have any questions about any of this stuff, feel free to reach out to me. And I'm going to hit our last stat, days on market. So 8 days to sell a home a year ago. 6 in March, currently trending at 7. So again, still real strong market. 7 days is in this market, it's pretty exceptional because we're seeing a lot of, if you look up homes individually online, we're seeing that the marketing times are, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So definitely the marketing time is going up. And typically it goes up because there's so much inventory. It's just taking buyers, longer to get through houses. Now, the one thing I will say as well, certainly at a month of inventory, the market has softened up, but it is not necessarily a super soft market. I mean, when we look back into the 2017 market, we were seeing, 3 months of inventory, 4 months of inventory, 5 months of inventory, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. 1 month of inventory, still not a super, sluggish market, I would say by any stretch. I think we would definitely want to see, 3-4 months of inventory and above before you could make that determination. Any questions, again, feel free to reach out.